That's the first time she's talked. In reality, what are they supposed to do? Because, like, Zach has a point. No one knows the answer. How do you even know if going back to the mansion, like what Ashton suggested, how do you know that's gonna work? How do you know?
Zach, I know Rebecca wouldn't.
Rebecca's gone, Bella. And if what happened last night didn't tell you how bad...
I know that! You don't have to keep reminding me.
Everyone's on edge, you know, because they just lost Becca and then no one has slept or eaten properly, so this is not good.
Do you really think I don't blame myself for everything?
Nobody's telling you to think that way!
Whoa.
No, but you might as well just say it.
We still have one more lead we haven't checked. I'm gonna look into it tonight.
By yourself?
Like hell!
Whoa.
This ain't just about helping, Ashton! You're throwing yourself in the thick of it, on your own!
3 hours? For what?
That's more than enough time to go there, to check things, like you said.
Hey internet, it's Jessica, and welcome back to The Letters. So, Ashton is gonna venture off on himself to the mansion, because this is probably, like, the only idea he has. Even though I still think he should go with the others, but maybe it will save someone, I don't know, but we'll see. Anyway, sun hangs lower when I stumble back into consciousness and drag myself downstairs. Around this time, the patrons usually start to trickle into the main lounge until it reaches a peak around midnight. Today, however, it remains thin. But considering what day it isn't too worrisome for the kind of business G runs. He always has complained about the lack of decent crowd on week start, although he doesn't really begrudge his customers for it. No one wants to start the week with a bad case of the hangover after all, even him, which makes the concerned look he's giving me come off a bit too odd. With the kind of danger we're in, this swiftly puts me on edge, even before sleep completely fades from my mind.
Something wrong, G?
G hums, but there's an undertone of annoyance despite his casual and open movements. And only after he finishes wiping the tumbler and carefully sets it face down on the table, he gives me an answer. The way he stares back at me honestly makes me squirm. It feels like I'm being stared at down by my primary school teacher for sleeping in class again.
Nothing much. Monday's still a slow day for this place. But you, might want to check on your friends, kid.
Which friend?
Looks like one of them woke up on the wrong side of the bed while you were out.
Another question forms in my head, along with a small confused frown. Though, before a single syllable slips past my mouth, he gestures his head to the far side of the main lounge. Isabella has settled on one of the tables in the set corner in deep thought with a scowl on her face. From the looks of it, it appears woken up from the wrong side of the bed is a complete understatement. Turns out sleep isn't just what some of us need. Even G appears to understand it. In spite of the efforts to look as unconcerned as possible, there's a tense set on his shoulders. A nervous edge lingers in his eyes as it occasionally flickers over Isabella. He doesn't want to deal with this, especially at the start of any busy week. Not that I know how, I don't even know how to put her in such a bad mood. But the imploring gaze G directs at me leaves me with no other choice. It almost feels like he's glinting at me to do something about it. I hate that it's working. You know how I run this pub, kid. No fist fighting, no cat fights, no people in sullen moods. Only good booze, bad puns, and off-key singing. Go fix it before it turns into something chaotic. It's probably not as petty if Isabella already is in that state, and I give him a nod nevertheless.
Sorry about this, G.
He hums something under his breath for an answer and waves me off, turning away and returning to his work without another word. Even with the lack of the sizable crowd, he likes to keep busy. We're the same in that regard. Can't remain still, always has to stay moving, doing something, thinking, whatever keeps the brain at work. I leave him to it shortly after. Part of me wants to thank him for all the trouble he has taken for the people he barely knows. Once this is over, I should probably find some way. In the meantime, I have this immediate problem to fix. Gotta go get this before it turns into a shitstorm. There's a strange lull in the area of the pub. People continue to trickle out instead of in, and this time only 2 tables remain occupied. Soon, these people too will be gone, and the whole place will be devoid of anyone. Frankly, its current state already lends the place entirely a different vibe. Along with a soothing strum of string and steady beats from the drums playing overheard, there's a calming sense to this. A far cry from times that I've been here before, and perhaps this is the reason why Isabel has chosen this place to retreat. She sits quietly in the furthest corner of the room, in one of the tables set right beside the window. G usually keeps the curtains closed around this hour, but a small portion of it has been pulled back, revealing the busy streets outside. This late afternoon light spills right through it, outlining her small form and pooling onto the surface of the table, where both her arms rest. Oh, in her hand she flips the piece of old folded paper, turning it from one side to another without any purpose. the letter. A smell of foam creases on her forehead while she stares at it, yet there is something oddly tranquil in the picture she has unknowingly painted. Something I can't bring myself to disturb, if only for a few seconds. It's one of those moments again. The rare ones, the ones where she's too still, too quiet, a complete opposite of her usual self, but it's these that are often leave a mark. Not her cheery disposition or her lively attitude, but these short few seconds of wordless silence, when the softest sighs and the slight movements sing louder. The smallest minuscule things that tell you about the person and her strength more than any words can express. It's these that carve a vivid memory, no matter how brief it lasts. And it breaks soon enough, the second I pry the letter off her hands and flop down onto the empty seat next to her. She glares at me, annoyed, just like that, and it all melts away. God is the stillness, replaced quickly by teasing and friendly jibs. Back again to where we used to be, what's easy, what's familiar, where every truth we hope to convey regrettably goes unsaid between us.
You're going to destroy an important piece of evidence if you keep doing that, Belle.
This time, however, no retort comes from her, without the letter to glare daggers at. She turns on her hands, now clenching tight onto in front of her. But she's far from angry. A bit upset, maybe? Who wouldn't be? This curse has already gone far too long. Has taken someone we care about from us. Regardless, Isabella doesn't seem to like that she'll start shouting at me, at least compared to the other people I've aggravated, intentional or otherwise. Some light talk may just do the trick, or coax her out of this mood.
Come on. If you keep staring at the table like that, you're going to bore a hole on it. I really don't want to OG a new table. He'll pick the most expensive one and leave me begging on the streets.
I get what he's trying to do, but it's a very hard situation, right? And like, out of all the people in the group, Isabella is the most angriest just because no one believed her. So I totally get why she's pissed, especially at Ashton, because it's his fault for being like, you're just joking around, it's not real, shut up, you know? So she levels a quick glance at me, her expression dry and impassive enough to drain every color out of the room. It's as if I told her a terrible joke and she's expecting there'll be more of it. Really now? She needs to give me more credit than that. My jokes are funny when I want them to be.
And I really don't care. I'd even take pictures and post them online. Go away, Ash. I don't want to talk right now.
Yet it sounds half-hearted at best. Like what's happening has already sapped every energy out of her, and that's all that's left are words. Pretty soon, those two will lose their meaning and leave a hollow shell in their wake. And it's already unusual to see her like this. Everything has gone to shit. I like at least this one thing to stay normal. So somehow we manage. We continue for the better half hour, talking, joking, with her short, feeble responses and banter that never goes anywhere. But it's enough. In the grand scheme of things, amidst the chaos and death shadowing over us, it's these little inconsensual moments that matter. It's her smile, her laughter, when it finally rings, easy and free from her burdens.
Okay, I have another one.
I don't want to hear it, Ashton. Go away.
No, really. Listen, I know someone who talks like an owl.
Will you leave me alone if I bite and ask who?
A pause, and then she frowns as the realization slowly dawns on her. Confusion flashes fleeting across her face before eventually settling on a grimace.
Oh.
Suddenly, she hugs her arms closer to herself and looks away, perhaps in her best attempt to stay angry, to no avail. In a matter of seconds, her shoulders shake with laughter she's trying to contain.
You're awful, and I really hate you. Just leave.
It's contagious, her mirth. Soon, I'm joining her in it, briefly forgetting every problem that had piled up and continued to weigh down on us. Laughing without reservation or care, until only a familiar warmth lingers, once both of our music ebbs away. Somehow, with her, these things have always come easy.
Feeling better?
A little. You're still lame.
But you're laughing right now.
It's cute, though. He's trying to make her laugh, so, you know.
Only because your humor is terrible.
Only because she likes it.
Right. Keep telling yourself that. I know it's funny. And you know what? If you've kept frowning like that, your face might have cracked. That would have been really messy and ugly.
If glares can kill, with the one she sends my way, I'll probably be dead by now. Seeing it directed my way, it only takes a few quick seconds for me to realize how she might have also taken my statements. How wrong and rude it might have sounded in her ears. However, unintentional it is. I've never been good with words, but that's never an acceptable excuse, is it? Suddenly, taking the brunt of her anger seems less complicated than correcting or explaining myself. Nevertheless, I try.
What? Crap. Damn it, that was so not what I meant. I was just saying you look better when you're smiling.
He's like, by the way, I think you're pretty cute. Her glare doesn't even wane. In fact, I think it intensifies, like brewing a storm. In the face of it, under the sharpness of her stare and her annoyance, I do what any person with a good sense of self-preservation does. Keep my mouth shut and shift my attention elsewhere. The crowd outside looks very interesting today. Maybe I should...
Thanks, Ash.
Aw, she utters all of it in a voice too small, too quiet. But when I turn to her, only those words, her gratitude, resonate through the whole room. Not like soft clicking of the silverware somewhere, nor the last strain of music fading into the silence above us. Instead, it's the meaning behind her gaze, as she holds mine, that lingers. Steady, unflinching, and open, in the same way she looked at me all those years ago, with bright eyes and expression softening into a tender smile. I didn't understand it then. How easy it is for her to wear her heart on her sleeve, how she never shies away from expressing herself, even among people she barely knows. How could she go through everything without losing herself? Now it's among the hundreds, thousands that hung unspoken between us, trivial little things with words still too big to put into words, either because it's too early or it's because there's never really a proper time. For now, though, this'll do. Until the moment itself dwindles. Until reality pulls us back in, reminding us of the things we set aside for in its favor.
What was that about earlier? You look like you're about to wage war on that letter.
Oh, it's nothing. You probably won't like it when you hear it.
Maybe? You haven't said anything yet, so how am I supposed to decide how to react?
A small frown returns on her face, although it still lacks the same anger just a few minutes ago. The bitterness stays. Now there's also uncertainty. It takes another minute until she speaks again. This time she doesn't meet my eye.
I was just thinking... Maybe we should go back to the mansion.
Yeah, funny enough, Ashton thinks the same thing. Blood freezes in my veins. Immediately before I can even think further onto what to say, my mouth is moving, disapproval already at the tip of my tongue.
Isabella, you know that's...
I know, Ash. I just thought we'd find something in there. That if I go back, we'll get the answers we need. I found the letter there, so maybe, right?
It's not that I don't agree with her. Hell, I've been considering the same thing. It's the only lead we have, after all, but it's not going to be a simple walk in the park. Who knows what we might find in there. If I bring her with me, I won't be able to guarantee her safety. She'll be in even greater danger. Hence, alone. Exactly what I have told Zach. If there's a need to go back to the accursed place, I'm doing it on my own. Whether or not the rest of them agree to this plan is inconsequential. Their well-being is my top priority, and I'm not just about to drag them there with me. So I tell her as much, despite the determination and desperation in her eyes. Anything to keep her safe. It's dangerous. I can't let you do that. I don't know which one is gonna be, because like the one with Zach is a lot easier to say because I don't want to worry about him, but like saying like you're gonna be in danger, it's like would Isabella be like, oh, it's fine because like this entire time she does not give a crap, right? So I should probably say I can't let you do that.
I can't let you do that, Belle.
Ash, the people living in that place now, they were with me during the open house. They have to know. They're in as much trouble as we are.
I know, but it's risky. It's dangerous. We don't know what you might find in there. Or if you'll even find anything. What if you see her again? What if she goes after you? What are you going to do? For all we know, it might be a dead end. It's not worth it to put yourself in harm's way like that.
She offers no response, not even a form of resistance, no further argument like I've come to expect her. Wait, let me see what the relationship... Okay, so it's still positive, so I picked the right one. Okay, thank God. Because I know if I say it's too dangerous, she's not going to care because she's already put herself in danger regardless. Uncharacteristic. Just a silence that stretches far too thin, till the air in the whole room grows heavy. In front of her, her hands stay curled up, like it's holding on to everything she wishes to say but can't. I like to think that, yes, to some extent she understands, even if she does not entirely agree with me. The dilemma is clear in her. Otherwise, her scowl wouldn't have to be deeper to set it, her lips wouldn't be pressed into a thin line, or her hands would no longer be balled into fists. She would have pushed the argument if she doesn't, and I know she has no lack of things to say. Instead, she simply offers a nod, and acquiesce, and in a moment of boldness, perhaps insolence, I reach out for her, taking her clenched fists into mine and drawing them closer to me. She sucks in a breath, soft and sharp, but doesn't say anything, merely watches as both of my hands cradle hers, cautious, mindful, as if it's the most precious thing I've ever held. Then again, maybe it is. Oh! Along with everything I've yet to convey.
Stop that.
Surprisingly, although the gesture has startled her, she yields, allowing a touch that is far too familiar and more than I'm willing to give most.
You're going to hurt yourself if you keep doing that.
Gently, I unfurl her fingers, flattening them each digit against my palm. Her nails have already created small dents in her skin from how tightly she held it close. A little more and she would have drawn blood. Deep as it is, smoothing over a thumb over the tiny marks does nothing. But it's a small gesture we both find comfort in amidst the chaos, and at all once the tension lifts. Her expression softens, the line in her shoulder eases, and it is only after her lips curve up into a faint smile that I let go, giving her hand one last squeeze before reassuring her. That was kind of cute! Oh man! Part of me wants to tell her, admit that it's exactly what I'm planning tonight. What good will it do, though? I've already told Zach, one person is enough. No, you gotta, don't lie to her. I know she's gonna fight Ashton on this, but you shouldn't lie. You know what I mean? This is gonna, like, make her angry with you and, like, cause like, unnecessary arguments when you should be dealing with the ghost lady. Hell, simply letting someone in on the plan makes me iffy. Broadening the circles and revealing too much would just cause another pointless concern. But someone has to be aware, at least of where I'm heading off to in case things don't pan out. Even if I only intended to do a quick survey of the place. In my own words, risky. It's best that I simply leave it as it is for now. Isabella doesn't need to be burdened with the worry of my entire scheme entails. With a light, reassuring tap on her shoulders, I stand up. At the same time, footsteps shuffle in from the pub's entrance and cheerful chatter suddenly fills the room as a group of people enters. It's all the distraction I needed. Muttering the excuse and flashing Isabella with a quick smile, I beat a hasty exit out of the main lounge and leave her alone on her own. Despite the troubled look she shoots me, before Isabella can say anything she's been mulling over, before the last imploring glance she directs at me forces me to change my mind, it's another lasting image that firmly etches itself into my memory, one that spurs the conscious among the other things. I just hope I won't regret what I've chosen for myself tonight. Oh, I don't like this! I don't like this! I'm actually legit scared. Like, what is gonna happen when he goes there? Galloway Shaw's Monday night crowd, although small and barely occupies a quarter of the whole pub, provides an ample enough cover for anyone who wishes to leave the place unnoticed. Just exactly what I need tonight. With the lively music and chatter, spilling out, mostly unseen, becomes a piece of cake. Without much trouble, soon enough, I find myself standing outside under the chilly Luxembourg night. A gust of wind picks up shortly after I step out, carrying the telltale smell of the impending rain. I'll give it about an hour or two before it starts. From the looks of it, tonight will be another downpour, maybe even stronger than the ones that we've had this morning. And on instinct, I hunch further into my jacket, hugging its thick material closer to my body while I weave through the lines of the empty cars into the parking lot. The letter crinkles in my pocket with each step I take, though I pay no mind as I hurry towards my car. I've nicked it minutes ago from Isabella's belongings out of my way out. If this is still connected, I need this damn piece of paper with me. However ridiculous it sounds, I'm quite sure it won't be missed either, but I can't waste the time here and wait for her to find out, can I? 4 hours is all I'm giving myself to get this done. 3 if I'm inclined to go by the rules Z-Man set. But when have I ever? Regardless of how generous that is, each second is just as important as the next. With every plan, problems crop up the last second. It's practically the universal rule, and it does. In the form of a lone figure waiting for me next to my car. What? Oh, I thought it was the girl. I'm like, what? She's here? Isabella turns just as I near, her mouth curving up into a small smile. She offers no greeting except for the shy tilt of her head. Even as my pace slows and I looked at her with all unvoiced questions in my eyes, she remains wordless. Mirroring throwing her head back and shifting her attention up to the starless sky, when I come up to stand beside her. Another gust of wind blows as she breathes out a sigh, weary, thick, with something close to resignation. The breeze carries all of it away, while she hugs her arms closer to herself to keep warm, which raises the question why she's out here. The air is already heavy with the promise of rain. With clouds obscuring the view, there's really nothing left to look but dark blankets of nothingness. Still, she stands here, as if it's intentionally waiting for everything to fall. That, or she's here for some other reason.
Well, I can't bring you with me.
I know. I won't ask you to.
Go back inside. G will keep an eye on you while I'm gone. You can trust him. And hey, you also have Z-Man with you.
Don't worry. I will. In a while. I just want a bit of fresh air.
Well, don't stay out there too long. It's going to rain soon. It'll probably be even heavier than the downpour we had this morning. You wouldn't want to be caught in it.
I gave her shoulder a reassuring squeeze before walking past her and heading to my car. Not 2 steps further, though, something pulls me back on my jacket, catching by the fabric in the grip and halting my movements.
Isabella, I need to go.
Oh, I don't know. I don't like this. She refuses to meet my eyes, but her hold remains tight. I'm really scared that Ash is gonna die, dude. There's a worried crease between her eyebrow and her lips quiver ever so slightly when she speaks. In a small voice, brimming with a different kind of desperation I can't quite place.
Rebecca's gone.
She draws in a breath, slow, soft, slow, lined with enough sorrow that it hitches.
And if that thing takes you, too.
The rest of it falters, but the meaning, the gravity in each of her words rings loudly above the passing breeze, hanging over us, lingering in between. The small little thing that spurs me into silence, like the wind has suddenly been knocked out of me in one fell swoop. No words will form, not even a single coherent thought. And so, in a place of everything untold that we have taken for granted, I draw her in. What? What do you mean? Gently, quietly, pulling her against me and my arms settle around her shoulders. Oh!
Ash?
Whoa, what's happening? For a fleeting second, she freezes, startled, and looks up at me with no hesitation and a silent question in her eyes. Whatever answer she finds in mine, eventually she allows this. She folds herself onto me, buries her face on my shoulder, and settles her arms onto my side, unsure, uncertain.
It'll be over soon.
Oh, they're hugging!
I'll figure it out. I'll find a way to get us out of this. But no matter what happens, I want you to promise that you will stay alive until then. Because if I lose you to her as well, I have no idea what else would keep me grounded.
When all this has been said and done, I rest my forehead against hers, close my eyes and simply taking in her warmth. Desperation still clings, woven into every breath, every sigh, but at the heart of this, her, no words are said, even as we part. Damn it, I wanted a CG of them hugging, damn it! What the hell, game? But I let this be the last thing I commit to a memory, before slipping inside my car and driving off. Within 10 minutes, I'm driving out of Luxburn and heading straight for Ainslam Village. In the distance, flashes of lightning light up the horizon, white and sharp against the black curtain of the night. And with one last roar, the skies open in earnest. Ooh, November 1st! Oh god, I am scared. I really thought like all of the ending would happen on the 31st because, you know, like Halloween, it's spooky and stuff like that. But okay, I guess we're in November now. The rain falls in fast, steady sheets, creating shallow puddles in the dirt path, drenching everything the eyes can reach. Despite having grown up in the city, I still despise the rain. Living here doesn't mean I have to like it. Lucky me, I've reached the mansion before the downpour has turned torrential? What? Okay. The long slog from the Ainslam village by foot has already made it difficult by the light drizzle and the biting winds buffeting against my body every few seconds. By then, I found a cover under the trees lining the vicinity of the mansion. My shoulders are already drenched. My hair is also sticking against my skin out of every possible direction. Thankfully, the letter, the taser, and the gun I brought with me has remained relatively dry. That's the most important thing. However, those are the least of my problems at the moment. Sometime after the housewarming party, scumbag Wright has suddenly grown a brain and tightened security around the mansion. A guard is now stationed at every possible point of entry. The main entranceway, the back door leading to the kitchens. Hell, it's even almost a miracle no one has spotted me once I entered the property, although it's probably because I've been kept close to the forest. While I can always create a clever way for myself, under this dialogue, it's difficult to do so without making much noise or leaving tracks.
I don't really have the luxury either, do I?
Considering how off this place feels since I stepped onto the property and the mansion came into view, every light is off. Yeah, that's true. Why is all the lights off? Even with the security personnel on patrol outside, the whole house itself, it's empty. It feels empty, eerie, too quiet. Normally, I pass it off as some kind of power outage because of the storm. It's not a far-off conclusion when this place is almost in the middle of nowhere. However, something just feels wrong.
Something happened here.
I don't like this. I'm terrified. Or about to. It's the sole reason why I haven't done anything yet. Simply observing, watching, listening, for anything. I might be pressed for time, but I'm not a careless idiot. Although I need a way in desperately, so moving without thinking will not only endanger me. With so many unknown variables and with what we're dealing with, I also have to act on the assumption that someone is always in danger, especially in this place. As much as I hate Wright, I'm not about to cause his death because of one thoughtless action. If there's a place he deserves to be at, it's in prison, not the morgue. Oh, bitch, no. That is not Hannah, right? Like, that can't be her. That's the girl. Like, what's her name? The witch, the slave. I don't know. So when a hoarse, painful sob suddenly rings out above the loud pitter-patter of the rain, only then do I stir. A woman. Perhaps a servant? Or worse, Hannah Wright. It's coming from the forest? Just right up ahead, in fact, not too far from the house. Regardless, I give the place a quick, wary glance before following the noise. No! Oh god! Carefully keeping to the shadows, one cautious step after another. Louder and louder, it goes as I near. No! Oh god, she just had to do that, right? Until it abruptly turns into a loud, desperate anguish cry. I break into a run. Oh my god, one nervous hand ready on the gun holster at my hip, and the other race for balance as I scurry across the dense understory. Dread leaves crunch under my shoes, but I pay no mind. There's only a voice, the woman, and nothing. Abruptly, it all stops and I am met with a sudden hush. Blank. Empty. Almost deafening in its stillness, even with my labored breathing and pounding heartbeats against my ears. Behind me, another branch breaks, and
Help me.
oh my god, that's the first time she's talked! Dread surges within me and I spin around to take a hard step back, ignoring the chilly pinprick crawling on the back of my neck. But before I can even meet her eyes, the world unexpectedly pinches sideways. Why? Tilting! And tilting to the ground beneath me finally crumbles. My hands fight for purchase, only to meet air. By then, it's too late. Whoa! My foot slips further and the rest of my body follows. What happened? What happened? Dark spots blur in the edges of my vision. Black tendrils twist and coil on my limbs. Soft footfalls echo from the distance, scurrying, scampering, moving in an odd rhythm, with the sharp, piercing notes of her laughter. See, that's what I don't get. Why does she say help me and then she starts laughing maniacally? That's the part I don't understand. That's why I think it's still two people, Charlotte and the maid. But more than that are voices, lacing venom inside every crevice inside my head. Murmurs that jeer, scoff, and deride. Over. It's because you didn't listen. And over. It's all your fault. And over again. Why won't you believe me? A reminder of what I failed to do and who I failed. What I'm trying to desperately fix. A scream threatens to burst, but my throat closes off, ever so slowly. A chill seeps into every nerve of my body, washing away every sensation in me apart from one. There's only fear. Once again her laughter echoes, a sound both bitter and unforgiving. It's the last thing I hear before she reaches for me. The ground trembles. The world slows to a stop. She brought us to the dungeon! Wait, Marianne is down here! Half darkness greets me when my eyes finally snap open. The soft patter of dripping water somewhere spurs my consciousness further. For a few short moments, I remain still, blinking away the dizziness, allowing my vision to adjust to the lack of light and breathing to even out first, before pushing myself onto one arm and attempting to stand. Turning a tone to struggle on its own, an inch and move extends a jab to sharp pain right into my arm and on my back, giving me another pause.
Shit. I hope I didn't break anything. Fuck.
There doesn't seem to be any injury or major fracture, although the whole of my back does feel sore and raw. Probably from when I skidded down to the prior landing myself here? Oh, maybe it's another trap door, right? Because there's like a lot of trap doors in this house anyway. That's how Marianne ended up here. A comforting thought. The second attempt comes easier later, though no less painful. And by the time I'm back on my feet, the exertion has left me gasping in a short, shallow breath and leaning heavily on the wall nearest to me. Behind me, a light drop blows in from where I've fallen in, coming in short, sharp bursts into what apparently an underground tunnel and brings into the fresh, earthy smell of rain from the topside. Regardless, it fails to mask the old, musky scent of the place, a mixture of mold, mildew, dust, grease, and something distinctly foul, like death. More worrisome than the putrid, festering smell, however, there are cells lined both sides of the tunnel. Under the dim light, I can barely make out what's inside of some of them, but I already have a few ideas, all of which I refuse to devil at the moment. Knowing how long this mansion has stood, somehow, no matter how unexpected finding the existence of this place, it isn't too surprising.
I wonder if Scumbag knows about this.
I actually do wonder if Luke does know about the dungeons or not, or even Hannah, right? Probably not, unless he's also a kind of person who takes joy in inflicting this kind of suffering onto others. I really don't think so. He's rotten to the core, but not that rotten. He'll probably balk at this, move out at first opportunity, and have it demolished. The very idea of what occurred in this place years ago makes me real as well. I've known long ago places like this tend to hold secrets. This, though, if this is just the tip of the iceberg, I fear what I may discover in the mansion itself and the tale behind the fucking letter. But fear is inconsequential. It's unpleasant sight of this. The place might also be the only way for me to get inside unnoticed. Sighing and taking one last gulp of clean air, I push away from the wall and delve deeper into the passage.
Let's just hope it'll be smooth sailing from here.
What about Mary Ann? Where is she? Turns out that alone is too much to ask for this early. Not 20 paces into it, another sound abruptly rises above my footfalls, rebounding off the hollow walls and echoing inaudibly across the whole span of the tunnel before fading away just swiftly as it rang. I paused, nevertheless, straining my ears for more of it, while I gradually moved my hands to my side, slow and steady until the tip of my fingers brush off the gun's handle. Although cold against my skin, it's the closest thing I have to comfort at the moment. For a long minute I wait, holding my breath, watching every form, edge, and shadow at the corner of my vision in any moment. After a heartbeat and nothing, I allow the tension to ease out in me to form a long, slow exhale that reverberates around the whole passage. Oh God.
Who's there?
She's alive! Oh, Jesus! Perhaps it's because of what happened earlier or how I ended up here, or maybe it's because of my training. But in spite of the panic and fear in that voice, I don't immediately answer. Instead, I pull my gun free from its holster and wordlessly draw closer to where the voice rings out once again. Afraid. Frantic. Weak?
I'm asking you a question. Who's there?
Please tell me she's not her and she's not dead and this is not an illusion. It's only after I release the safety do I answer, while continuing to approach in a careful, steady pace.
I think I should be the one asking you that. Who are you? Show yourself.
I can't. I'm stuck in here.
Well, a ghost will definitely not be saying that or have a conversation like this or be stuck anywhere. And as if to prove her point, she extends her hand from one of the cells ahead and waves. Then she pulls back, grips the iron bar, and rattles it lightly.
I can't get out. Can you help?
I don't like this. Oh my God. In 5 quick steps, I'm standing in front of the cell, and sure enough, a woman's inside. Slumped on the floor, holding the bars and shaking hands, clinging as if it's the only thing keeping her upright. And not just any woman.
You? McLaughlin?
McCullen! The same one I met at G's 5 days ago, smashed drunk and babbling her frustrations about her employers.
Holmes?
No, not McLaughlin. McCullen. Marianne McCullen, famous interior design extraordinaire. Not so exactly now, with how exhausted and feeble she looks, trapped in a jail cell of all things. Her breathing is shallow, and there's a paleness to her complexion, sunken eyes, cracked lips, dry skin, all sign of pointing to starvation and dehydration.
What? How long have you been stuck in here?
3 days? 4?
Oh God.
I don't know. I have no idea anymore. I just fell in, and that woman, whatever. Can you get me out of here? Please.
In a moment. But here, go feed yourself first before you fall over.
I fish out an energy bar from my pocket and hand it to her. She's lucky I have one on my person. For sudden emergencies or extended stakeouts, a little sugar to keep me going. Like any starving person, she wastes no time to make a grab for it and wrapping it straight away and taking the whole mouthful of it. Relief washes over her face on the first bite alone. Okay. Although she's going to need more than that if what she has said is true. But for the moment, it's enough to keep her alive. Good thing she seems to have a sense of prioritize survival over comfort. If the puddle in the corner of the cell indicates anything, without water the human body can only survive 3 days. No food, and I'll give it an average 3 weeks. Even then, it won't be a pretty experience. Granted that some survive longer than that, she's still fortunate that I found her when I did. Now, to get her out. My bobby pins won't be any use here. Not like I need it. Unlike the ones who have at the precinct, a small, simple barrel hinge holds the gates to the cell alone. Even without any special tools, I'll be able to lift the door and free her. With how heavy it seems, I'll need to leave her some kind of help.
What are you looking for?
Some wood, a 2x4, I guess, a plank or a pipe, anything I can use as a lever. Wait here.
The hallway yields nothing but dust, dirt, and a few rusted chains scattered around. While I may find something in one of the open cells, I'm reluctant to check or even step in. We can't have another person trapped in here, however, McCullough ended up inside.
Well, there's no...
My head snaps back at her. McCullough extricates a wooden board from under the massive hay that twines near her. Without prompting, she slips through the little space there is between the bars. It's short, but appears thick and sturdy enough to intend purposes. Upon closer inspection...
Good enough.
Isn't that the thing that it's like a handcuff, right? I don't know. I hope. I get to work at once, anchoring the other end of the plank in the base of the door and applying ample force on the other end. It takes a bit of effort, no kidding about the heavy part. Still, a grunt, a gasp, a creak. In a matter of minutes, a little help from her on the other side, the door eventually lifts off its hinges. It falls to the ground with a loud, ugly metal thud, but the sound of it puts elation to McCullough's face. I'm scared, like someone heard that and they're gonna come down here and kill him. She doesn't even ask for help. As soon as she can, she hastily crawls out of the prison she accidentally found herself in. More than happy to get out of it, despite lacking the strength to stand firmly on her feet.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
I'm so glad she's alive.
After the second day, I was so sure I was going to die in there. If you didn't show up, today, I don't even want to think about it.
How did you even end up here?
For a second, she appears hesitant, looking away and fumbling awkwardly with her fingers.
I was looking for someone.
A contemplative expression flicks in her eyes. Something that was close to wistful, like when a person remembers a memory she's fond of. It doesn't last too long, but she still leaves the impression that I've suddenly walked into something private. Something deeply personal for her, I'd rather not ask.
So this whole tunnel, at the end of it, it leads right inside the mansion?
The wine cellar.
Right into the kitchen, then.
There's a door of some sorts. I don't know. I think I pulled or pressed something somewhere. I was in a hurry, and I'm not sure if it'll open from this side. Hell, this place wasn't even in the floor plans.
What do you mean?
Does that really matter now? We have to get out of here. People died in this place. Kids! Oh, God! Kids! I could have shown you, but that thing won't turn back on anymore. It's like it only waited for me to see it before shutting down or something. How long has that thing even been in there?
So wait. After the kids died in the mansion, did the ghost girl just drag their bodies and threw them in here? Or just, like, took the video camera and placed it there so, like, Marianne will see? Is that what that was? Like, I don't understand.
But those poor kids. All because of that thing.
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about right now?
The bloody letter! Ever since I've read that thing, since that day at the open house, she won't leave me. But it should be fine now, right? I broke it. I broke all of it. She shouldn't be able to do anything now.
Nicola, one at a time.
It's all that fucking paper's fault! Oh, God. Oh, God. Dear Lord in St. Adelaide, bless those poor souls. We're not safe here. We need to leave. If we stay here any longer...
Nicola!
Abruptly, she stops, looked back at me with a wild, panic-stricken eyes. I've seen enough of it many times these past few days, from my own friends even, to know she has seen things, that kind of thing that really makes a person go mad, and perhaps we slowly are. The longer this takes, the faster our descent into it becomes. Can't even tell which one's worse, death or this. Seems like no matter what we end up with, there will be something horrid waiting for us. I need to hurry.
Listen, I need to get inside this place, and you're more familiar with its layout. If you can help me...
What? No! Why would I go back? Are you sure you haven't gotten raving mad yet? An exit's right here.
And this business with the letter has to end at some point. Look, I know you're not very fond of Luke Wright.
Damn right I'm not. He can just go.
But are you really sure you want to leave him like this? And what about his wife?
It strikes a chord. She falters, grows quiet as the tension lifts from her and her shoulders slump. I do understand her issues with this. In fact, she doesn't have to go with me. Only tell me enough info so I can figure out my own. She can always leave afterwards, be done with this whole damn mansion and the letter. The other end of the tunnel leads right into the forest. It'll provide ample cover for her to be able to slip out of the property unnoticed. All the same, she steels herself and squares her shoulders.
Just until the kitchens.
That's more than enough.
She nods, a bit weakly. Then, without another word, she gestures for me to follow, leading me further into the passage. Occasionally she'll stop, find purchase on the walls, and catch her breath. But throughout the short walk, she asks for neither a break nor assistance. Yeah, she's still weak, right? Because she hasn't, properly ate anything or drank any water. I suppose that's something we have in common. Eventually we get to the dead end. Although, before I can question her on it, she begins palming for something on the wall, tracing her fingers along the wreath edges and bricks and with a frown on her face.
It should be somewhere here, I think.
What the hell are you doing?
She merely holds her hand, begging for silence and continues searching. Then, without warning, a few minutes later, something clicks. A portion of the wall shifts ajar, revealing a glimpse of another room. Bottles lining the wall, liquor barrels for aging. The wine cellar indeed.
The ladder to the kitchen is on the far end of this room.
Surreal. This is all nothing but surreal nightmare, but after everything, should this even surprise me? Ghosts, curses, hidden passages? Can't even bring myself to question the existence of the door anymore. I simply follow her in the undercroft without a single question, in spite of the number of them already swimming inside my head. As a kid, I used to crave for this kind of adventure. The stuff of mysteries, the detective novels, daring chases, interesting cases to solve, suspects to put behind bars, justice to serve. I was blinded, I admit. Now I simply want this to be over. I don't like this. We leave the door open in case there's a need for a quick exit, especially after she mentioned it's only because by chance she was able to open the door last time. We can't waste any time finding the switch again on occasion something goes horribly wrong. There's bound to be, with me feeling this high-strung and tense. I'm not even sure why I thought this would be a good idea to enlist McCullough's help. Although she can be quite helpful so far, I can't shake off the horrible feeling something's going to happen to her if she stays with me. Even if I'm her safest bet if she wants to get out of this place alive.
You really believe that, don't you?
No!
Did you say something?
McCullough pauses mid-step, turning to me confused.
I didn't.
No!
You sure? I just heard...
Don't you think I'll be the first person who'll know? Look, the ladder leading to the kitchen's up ahead. I just want to be done with this place.
See? You dragged another one.
This time, I'm sure, there's really a voice. Well, voice is. Despite the look of protest McCullough shoots me, I find myself stopping and looking for it, searching the immediate surrounding for a familiar form of the woman. I don't even have to venture far where I'm standing. Just an arm length away from me, the mirror shards linger on the floor. And right on the biggest fragment... Ah! Wait! That's... Bella, Zach, Rebecca, and the lady. They speak. All singing the same mocking tune against my ear, letting it echo through the small undercroft. Murmurs and laughters, jeering, scoffing, deriding, lacing venom into every crevice of my head, taunting me.
You dragged another person into this, Ashton.
Into another one of your silly little problems.
All because you can't fix them on your own. You really haven't changed, have you? Some hero you are.
Useless.
Pathetic.
You're wrong.
My mistakes lie in the first instant I've answered. Yeah, you shouldn't have answered. The very second denial has slipped from my mouth, their words have also seeped into my heart, allowing it to prod and ruse in my temper. Despite knowing that they're merely doing this to goad me, each word, each syllable trickles into me, spurring the guilt I hope I've long buried.
Are we? Or is that simply what you've been telling yourself all this time? Something to make yourself feel better, perhaps? What about Becca? Oh, the way she fell to her death. But all you did was watch. Someone's dead because of you.
You're the one who took that letter off Isabella's hand that day. You're the one who opened it.
How does it feel, I wonder? To know you're responsible for all of this.
What do you think I'm doing? Why do you think I'm still trying to fix this?
Why do you keep answering?
Oh, but you can't. It's already too late. And you know that. You know all of this is futile.
Just face it, Ashton Frey. You're a failure, and they are the ones who have to pay for it.
A badge and a gun, and you still can't protect your own friends. Can't even solve the case for an old man.
Can't even bring right to justice.
Can't even keep his own family together. No wonder they left you. Before you do the same thing to them.
Mom and Dad are better off without little old you, aren't they? It's a good thing they had the sense.
Pitiful, isn't it? Some detective you are. Some friend you are. You might as well just throw that rank away. You're no use to people either way.
Shut it!
I hate this. I hate how this monster can easily get through to me. Every weakness, every insecurity it knows, to hear it said in my friends' voices, even more so. But what I hate above all of it is...
You know it's true, though.
All of it. It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it. You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
But no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna be able to say anything.
Shut it! Not a single word anymore.
It laughs, sharp and piercing. At its sound, something in me snaps. A rage hastily unfurling, red filling my vision, and the next thing I know, I'm raising my hand and something grabs my wrist, followed by a buzz, and another voice breaks through the haze.
Don't listen to it!
Yes, Marianne, save him! The fog from my mind lifts. Every sound, every noise returns to me, flooding my every senses all at once. There is this deafening silence. Slowly I become aware of my surroundings. Bottles of wine, barrels of liquor, the faint old scent of death and decaying somewhere, and a hand holding my wrist, as if it's to keep me from hurting myself. In my hand's a shard. Blood drips from it where I cut my palm, trailing down my wrist until it disappears behind my sleeve. Not too deep, negligible even. There is pain, however, a different kind, an ache somewhere that stems from not from the wound, but every single word it hits. When I glance up at McCullough, she merely stares at me with wide, horrified eyes.
Don't listen to it! No matter what happens, don't do what it says!
Exactly!
It's how it gets us.
My grip on the shard falters. If only after I nod and I drop it entirely does she release my grip. Afterwards, she simply steps back and looks away, hugging her arm closer to herself. She breathes a sigh heavy, perhaps weighted with her own guilt, what this monster might have used against her.
Come on, we're getting close.
She walks up with another comment, but there's worry in her eyes as she gives me fragments of one last glimpse. On the ground, they lie lifeless now. No more voices, no more insults, but even as I walk away, one whispered taunt continues to ring in my ear.
It's useless, Ashton and Frey. You are going to die.
No!
You are going to die alone.
A fear, one that has been long kept in the darkest place of my heart. One of the small part of me wishes for. Okay guys, I'm gonna end this episode of the letter right here. Great! So, we have Marianne with her, but I don't feel comfortable, like, her leading us to the kitchen and then she's gonna be like, bye, I'm gonna go into the forest, because I don't know what's gonna happen to her when she parts ways with us. And I know she'll probably be in danger with Ashton, because Ashton can't exactly protect her, because she's already weak from, you know, being trapped in the basement for a really long time. But I don't know, I just feel so uncomfortable leaving her alone. I'm really scared. I hope that she'll be able to get help, to help Ashton somehow, but I don't know. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like. Let me know in the comments what you think. Nice to see that the girl's just taunting us now. I don't know exactly what, you know, Ashton is gonna find in this house. I'm kind of scared. So, that's great. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye! Oh, she crashes into someone! Oh my god, this is gonna be freaking cute, isn't it? Oh, she's so- I freaking love her artwork, can I just say right now? Allies to the main characters. These powerful beasts are known as summons. They are extraordinary beings that can be called into battle by their summoner. They are also depicted as